Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for tuning in again. Today will be a very productive day, so stay still because we will be learning super common English idioms with pictures, meaning, and of course examples for you to be able to understand it easily. Okay, so stay still. So, what are idioms? Well, an idiom is a phrase whose meaning isn't obvious from looking at the individual words. They have developed over time, and so they might seem random to you. But idioms often rely on analogies and metaphors because they're used so often in everyday English. If you don't know them, it's almost impossible to understand the context. Learning common idioms in English will help you fit in with the most situations, whether it is a basketball game, over a beer, or studying, or going out on a hot date. So the main question is why it is so important to learn English idioms. Well, we'll say you are in American bar. It's loud, but you can hear what people are saying. Someone is talking about hitting books. Some other talking about twisting someone's arm. And you will say, "What's going on?" You just scratch your head and wonder why you can understand these English expressions and even thought that you can translate the words, right? Well, you've just had your first introduction to English idioms. That's the reason. So, in this video, I will teach you basic or common idiom and phrases. Okay, so stay still and learn with me. So, the first idiomatic expression we have is born with a silver spoon. It means someone who comes with a wealthy and successful family. Example: John was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His parents bought him everything he wanted and sent him to the best private schools. To go from rags to riches. It means to go from being poor to having a lot of money. Example: Actor Jim Carrey went from rags to riches. At one time, he was living in a van, but he continued to work hard and eventually became one of the highest paid comedians in the world. Pay an arm and a leg for something, meaning to pay a lot of money for something. You can also say that something costs an arm and a leg. Example: The price of chocolate has doubled. I nearly paid an arm and a leg for a small candy bar. Chocolate costs an arm and a leg now. Midas touch. It means to be able to make money easily. This idiom comes from the story of the King Midas, who turned everything he touched into gold. Example sentence: Jane really has the Midas touch. Every business she starts becomes very successful. Make ends meet. It means to make the money needed to pay for food and bills. Example sentence: I don't make much from my job as a cashier, but I'm able to make ends meet. I always have enough money for rent and groceries. Did you just have a massive fight with your friend? Did you fail your English finals? Did your team lose the final match? Or did you lose your job? If you answered yes to any of the questions, then you're probably feeling sad and a little depressed, right? In this situation, a supportive friend might tell you to keep your chin up. When they tell you this, they're showing their support for you, and it's a way of saying, "Stay strong, you'll get through this. Don't let these things affect you too badly." Example: Hey Karen, have you had any luck finding work yet? No, nothing. It's really depressing. There's nothing out there. Don't worry, you'll find something soon. Keep your chin up, buddy, and don't stress. A piece of cake refers to a task or job that's easy to complete or accomplish. Example sentence: I expected the English test to be difficult, but it was a piece of cake. A couch potato refers to someone who spends a lot of time sitting on the couch watching TV. Example sentence: after my uncle retired from his job, he became a couch potato. Compare apples and oranges. Apples are very different from oranges, both in looks and tastes. It's hard to compare two things that are so unlike each other. So then, to compare apples and oranges is to compare two very different things. Okay? Example: I'm not sure which I enjoy more, pottery or dancing. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Not one's cup of tea. If something is not your cup of tea, it's an activity you have no interest in, or you don't enjoy or don't do well in it. Example: camping is really not my cup of tea, so I'm going to visit my friend in New York instead. A bad apple. Imagine a basket of apples with one rotten apple inside. This picture will help you remember that a bad apple is someone who creates problems or troubles, or is a bad influence in the other people or in a group. Example sentence: instead of focusing on college, he spends his time hanging out with bad apples. Have a sweet tooth. Do you like eating cakes, candy, and other sweet tasting food? If you do, then you can say you have a sweet tooth. Example: yes, I definitely have a sweet tooth. I can never walk past a bakery and not stop to buy myself a slice of chocolate cake. Under the weather. Can you be under the weather literally? Probably yes, if you think about standing under the clouds, rain, and sun, but it makes no sense. If you're feeling under the weather, you're not your usual self and could be feeling a little sick. The sick feeling is nothing serious. Perhaps it's just extreme tiredness from studying too much or having a bad headache because you're starting to get the flu. Example conversation: what's wrong with Catty mom? She's feeling a little under the weather, so be quiet and let her rest. Weather the storm. It means to survive a dangerous event or effectively deal with a difficult situation. Example: last year, they had some financial difficulties when her husband was fired. Together, they weathered the storm and figured out how to keep going.